if you're not paying attention to this, if this is not a tutorial that you are jumping into with both feet, whatever the hell that means, this is it. This is so interesting. A lot of folks don't care for this, but I love it. It's like watching smoke and chaos and watching all of this data and saying what's happening right now. Candace Owens is Ian Carroll, this RFK, Israel, all this stuff. This is going to be, and one of the best responses and retorts from Alex Jones. One of the best. Please see it. It's like he's deflecting. He's like, don't get me in this. Remember this. Remember what I'm telling you. Remember this. Pick the hill you want to die on. Okay? If you really feel something, ask yourself, am I willing to have it all? Am I? You see, people today, especially those in the peanut gallery, not you, of course, love to plug. Yay! Oh, I love Candace Owens. She's so great. And she is. Oh, I love it when she's angry. She's fire breathing. And yeah. Ooh, yeah. And then after a while, you feel kind of like, you know what? Maybe I'm kind of bulletproof. Well, not really. Don't think so, Candy. Don't think so. That may be a problem. That may shock you. But let me tell you something. So we're going to be going through this today, and it is incredible. And you will see people who are not able to take this other than as a fan club. I love her. I love Bobby. I don't like her. I don't like Bobby. It's all personal. It's like you're missing the point. Not you, but these people. So get ready for this. Oh my God, we're going to go through this. It's better than today. Better than today. So make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you are paying attention. Make sure you are locked in, my friends. But before we start, this incredible word from this incredible patriot. You know, when it comes to comfort, support, and a good night's sleep, my friends, My Pillow has revolutionized the way millions of Americans rest their heads with unmatched quality, cutting-edge design, and a commitment to American-made excellence. My Pillow has become a household name. And now with mypillow.com/Lionel, or using the promo code Lionel, you can unlock exclusive discounts and deals that bring comfort and savings right to your doorstep. That's right, my friend. Mike Lindell and the team in My Pillow aren't just selling pillows. They're on a mission to transform the sleep experience with a wide variety of products beyond their signature pillows. Whether you're looking for supportive adjustable pillows, luxurious Giza dream sheets, cozy towel, mattress toppers that cradle your body in comfort, My Pillow offers it all. And with their 60-day money-back guarantee and a 10-year warranty, you can be confident that My Pillow stands behind every product they sell. Now, why My Pillow stands out? Let me tell you, unlike generic pillows you grab off a department store shelf, My Pillow is customizable and engineered to cater to different sleep styles. Whether you're a side sleeper or a back sleeper or a stomach sleeper, their patented interlocking fill technology adjusts to your specific comfort needs, keeping your neck and spine properly aligned throughout the night. No more waking up with that sore neck, no more tossing and turning, just the restful, rejuvenating, and exhilarating sleep that you deserve. And it doesn't stop at pillows. My Pillow's Giza Dream Sheets, made from the finest Egyptian cotton, offer a smooth, breathable, and luxurious feel, turning your bed into a sleep heaven. So right now, my friends, do the right thing. Go to mypillow.com, promo code Lionel. It's easy for me to say, mypillow.com, promo code Lionel, or call 800-645-4965. Simply the best. Trust me. These are different times right now when it comes to journalism. And first, Candace Owens and other people are absolutely to be heralded, they're wonderful. Joe Rogan has changed everything. Do you understand that? Joe Rogan has changed everything. Joe Rogan is not ever going to be in a position where anybody sues him for defamation. I mean, they could try, because he always asks questions, he puts people on, and he lets the facts of the matter speak for themselves. He doesn't have to push it. Candy, on the other side, on the other hand, loves to come up with absolute facts. This is about Israel. Like, wait, you don't know that? No, I know that. I know who killed John Kennedy. No, you don't. Yes, I do. No, you don't. Nobody does. Nobody does. Prove it. Well, you know what I mean. Oh, I've been through this. I've been through this for. Look, I'm rounding on 40 years of this. I've been around. I know things. See, I know things. But Candace Owens, who is, of course, a polarizing figure in conservative media, and a lot of people don't know what to do. And bless her heart. And by the way, she sometimes, I like her stuff, but she's the first mother. I'm pregnant, and I'm going to raise my family, and I'm a mother, and I'm waddling, and I'm pregnant. Yes, you are. And it happens to people. So, because, being pregnant is a wonderful thing. And I'm a pregnant mother. And, okay, fine. And I'm a Christian, and I'm saying it on Easter, that the king is risen, and if you Jews don't like that, I never say anything about the Jew. Okay. She just has, it's personal. And then you see, my friends, this is what I've been always telling you. When it's personal, you lose something. Then people immediately, they say, you don't want them to say, she's a nut. Notice how calm Alex Jones is lately? It's fantastic. Looks great. He's lost weight. When you lose weight, you feel terrific. I swear to God, if more people, this is true. If more people lost between 50 to, in some cases, 100 pounds, people say, what? Oh, yeah, you would feel like $1 million. But that's a different, I don't want to get into that. But Alex is looking terrific. He seems to be limpid, pellucid in his sound. And even he's saying, stop it, because Candace is even becoming like, she got the Daily Wire, she got this and the Ben Shapiro, and people are kind of looking back like, isn't she great? Yeah, I don't want to get near her. And she's Theo Vaughn, Nakura, ten cuidado. But in the world of conservative media, as we know this, she has always thrived on controversy. Remember when she had a complete, this is a weird, but she had a complete hard-on for Brigitte Macron. She's a man! Okay, Candace. No, you don't understand. I've got the proof. Candace, take it easy. No, you don't. What is your problem? And I'm not saying it's not true. I'm not saying it's not true. I'm not even saying, I don't even know what it is. But you're losing your mind in this. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. Never lose your mind. Never lose your cool. Be able to take it. Now, a lot of people have told me, especially people in France, they say, oh, yeah, we talk about that. Okay. But this, it's almost like, it's weird. It's like, why does this bother you so much? This is France. Let them worry about it. But he was a kid. Okay. Now, remember, you don't want to leverage your platform to challenge mainstream media narratives unless you have something other than just, sharp rhetoric and provocative claims. That's all I'm saying. Because the thing about it, though, is that you want to make sure you don't blow up in re-entry. You know what I mean? You make just take it easy. Take it easy. Now, her recent allegations, as you know, involving blackmail and Epstein and Israel and this and that and Bobby Kennedy, it's like, here we go again. And the best part about it is that, you know what? This is not far-fetched. See, none of this is. It's not like she's saying, I think it was Sasquatch. What? No, there's something to this. But remember what I told you. There's a difference between probable cause and reasonable doubt. I'm going to say this one more time. Recently, she was saying something to the effect of, "Oh, well, we're not supposed to say, oh, I don't know who killed Kennedy." We don't know who killed Kennedy. No, I'm not some Zionist. That's her thing now. I'm telling you, nobody can prove it. I've got some suspects. Oh yeah, but nobody knows. Nobody. You can't prove it. You can tell me things about it. You can tell me, oh, that's suspicious, but that's not proof. So she has also been bolstered by independent researcher. I like him, Ian Carroll. Now, Ian, take it easy. Because once you get people, and I've seen this before. Let me take you back a little bit. In the world of radio, I have been, I've seen it, and it happened with Rush Limbaugh. When Rush Limbaugh came along, Rush Limbaugh, I told you, and Howard Stern really changed the face and the complexion of radio. It really, honest to God, is true. 100% true. 100% true. And people all of a sudden who were in radio said, hey, I want to get into talk radio. And they say, listen, you're an overnight music jock and an all night. I don't care. I've been in radio for 35 years. Yeah, but this is, it's radio. You're right about, you can push buttons, run your own board. But this is not what we're talking about. This is not what we're talking about. That's not it. It's about knowing things. So anyway, so all of a sudden there was this, people would get into this, and I swear to God, I saw it. All of a sudden people said, you know what? I am the voice of reason. People are calling me up. The local TV station called me, and they want me to be on their show. They want me, to be on the show. They're asking me what it's like to be. It's like, oh my God, dear heart, what are we talking about? Because they love it. And let me tell you something, it's very heady. When all of a sudden you say, ooh, 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, wow, I am it. And they love me. And if I show up, and if you can be like, oh my God, like one of these Charlie Kirks, oh dear God, CPAC, holy heck, I am, it's heady. It makes people, you don't know. It's like, wow. And it's really big. There are more people who know you now in the world than ever before. Okay. So now they've apparently sparked what they call a backlash that may mark a turning point, maybe in their career. It depends. This firestorm, remember, which is even drawn concern from people like Alex Jones and others, could be, dare I say, the swan song, the Waterloo, or maybe the not the end of a reign, but the mollification of a right-wing sphere, so to speak. You see, one thing also is you don't want to be at the point where people are just, how many bombshells? Hey, Kamala is not black. Oh, okay. Brigitte Macron is a man. Oh, okay. They're blackmailing. Okay. What next? What is it? And JFK is a Jew, right? Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay. And pretty soon you say, okay, what do we? Now, I'm not going to say the numbers are going to go down. I'm not going to say anything. But one of the things that makes her so interesting right now is that what she is saying, nobody is saying. And this is something. And I'm just telling you, you've got to make sure you're ready to share consequences for pushing boundaries with the wrong people at the right moment. And by the way, this goes for the Biden administration, for the Democrats, for anybody else. But you've got to remember, you got to focus. You got to focus what's going on. And the internet, particularly on X, whatever, is buzzing, going crazy with reactions. While adversaries are circling, kind of waiting for her to really maybe go, has she gone too far? We'll see what happens. And meanwhile, Bobby Kennedy is not saying anything. Bobby Kennedy never, ever loses his cool. He never, ever even reacts. He just sits there and he doesn't say anything. And you can just scream at him. You can't get him. So let's look at some of these allegations. Let's unpack. I hate that term. Okay. Let's go through this and see what's going on. Let's see the future of this. Because let me tell you something. And you might find this being inconsistent. I love her spirit. I love there was a time when people actually believed this nonsense about Woodward and Bernstein being whatever it is. Those guys are the most corrupt folks anybody's ever seen before. That's all inside, soft coup, intel. You know about that. Hell, even that bullshit story about Mark Felt is deep. Oh, please. So you got blackmail, Epstein in Israel. All this stuff. Now, just remember it wasn't. So her latest controversy, Candace, erupted, I think, in early March of 2025 when she appeared on a podcast with Theo Von. Theo Von's a very nice guy. Very nice. It's funny where he's come. He really has said nothing. He's just a nice guy. And I think it goes to show you, God bless him. I don't listen. Anybody he is really blockbuster, but I don't. But that doesn't matter. Just because I don't understand something. I don't understand it. In our building, I was walking down the hall and I see there's somebody who ordered McDonald's, a delivery, McDonald's. I'm thinking, you're in New York City. You've got the best, within a 1 block, name it. You've got the best Italian, the best pizza, the best everything. And you get McDonald's? I don't get it. But it's a free country. What are you going to do? So during this Theo Von episode, which I think got about 1.5 million, 2 million views on YouTube. It's really big. Candace claims that the U.S. and our close relationship with the state of Israel is rooted, she says, in blackmail. That's what this is about. And she pointed to Jeffrey Epstein, of course, which, of course, nothing has ever happened. Have you noticed that? Hello. Nothing has happened regarding Jeffrey Epstein. Nothing. Let me see if I can say this again. Nothing has or will happen. Nothing. And that was just recently. Nothing is going to happen. They're going to dump files and documents, and they're going to drop, garbage, and they're going to show people all this stuff, and nothing is going to happen. Nothing. Ghislaine Maxwell today, Ghislaine Maxwell was released, whatever, and she took a plane, and she's reunited back in the UK, where she's going to collect all that money from the Cayman Islands. Nothing. Nothing's going to happen. Nothing. And we're going to get to the bottom of this in the name of the children. And poor Pam Bondi, bless her heart. And we're going to find it. Nothing. You're going to talk about it. We're going to get to the bottom of this. And this man's never, ever going to do this again. When you look at and the tragedies of the children of the people. Nothing. And we've got it right now. Nothing. You got the point? You'll say, why do they keep talking about it if they don't do anything? I don't know, habituate you? Continue? I have no idea. So then we point to Jeffrey Epstein's criminal sex rings and the allegations that it was a tool of blackmail, which, by the way, hello. How long have we been saying that? How long have we been saying this? Come on. How long have we been saying this? Come on. Please, stop it. To the point where, but I don't sit there fire breathing. I'm saying, I'm looking at this. I'm thinking Ehud Barak, Les Wexner, Epstein. Hell, even Alan Dershowitz is there. I'm not saying he's involved in any kind of, illicit activity, but these are some very, very serious people. You don't think there's any kind of the possibility of connection of helping out? Americans would say, I would be honored to help mine. Would you commit espionage against another country for your country? Would you? If you had the chance to get to the bottom of, to dig up some dirt on Macron by doing something, by stealing stuff and committing espionage vis-a-vis them, you'd be a hero here. Would that bother you? Of course not. Would you do it for your country? Of course you would. Of course you would. Of course you would. Does that bother you? No. if I ask Candace, well, if it is Israel or France or whatever, does that, are you taking this as, are you getting upset over this? Do you not know how this works? I mean, you're getting upset? You're getting angry? If it was Israel or others, which very well could be shared by us, I mean, I think that's a plausible, as a working hypothesis. But you're mentioning always Mossad and Israel, assets and she even went so far as to suggest that Epstein, who she claimed was American and Israeli and an intelligence asset, okay, maybe, could be. See, this is why I'm so boring. I always say, could be, looks like it. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I would. I don't even know. But I don't know because I'm not privy to this. And she believed, of course, that this was used to entrap and control the influential figures and thereby securing U.S. support for Israel. Okay, fine. I mean, that's plausible, but there's no proof of this. There's suspicion. You see what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be wishy-washy. There's no proof. Somebody tell me this. Is there any proof of this? No. No. But if I had to go, I'd say I'd go in that direction. She further argued later on that the blackmail explains why Epstein's files and those related to the JFK assassination remain sealed. Oh, yeah, they're connected. Framing it as a form of gaslighting, see, to portray Israel as a kind of a special friend and ally of the U.S. Oh, yeah, she's got this figured out. She's got this figured out to the point, and there's a lot of other people who are like this. And I say, excuse me, why are you clapping? How do you know this? Well, because what you wanted to be, what you suspect of being true, you were confusing for being true. Okay, now Ian Carroll, who is an independent researcher, very, very interesting, has a very, talk about low budget. He's there with his phone, but he's very interesting. He appeared on the Joe Rogan Experience recently, around the same time. He echoed this and expanded upon this on Owens' claim. Meanwhile, Bobby Kennedy not saying anything. Trump's not saying anything. Bobby's not saying anything. Nobody's saying anything. It's like, okay, we're busy. Hey, you see where the drug czar was? What's her name? Sarah Carter. Good for her. They're moving along. Nobody's even saying anything about this. But of course, within pockets of this, they're going crazy. So Mr. Carroll, who has a history of promoting investigatory subjects involving conspiracies, not crazy conspiracies, but indeed nefarious cabals and the like. There's been suggestions of their involvement in 9/11 and spent nearly 3 hours with Joe Rogan discussing Epstein. And Joe Rogan is very good. Joe Rogan listens and interesting. He gives everybody, he doesn't really jump into it. He lets the guest do this. He alleged, for example, that Mr. Epstein works for, of course, Israel and the Jewish community, whatever, which is a claim that has been widely, as you can imagine, widely criticized as perpetuating certain tropes and the like, anti-Semitic tropes. Okay, maybe so. And the assertions, by the way, the stuff that was being suggested, paired with Candace's comments, create this perfect storm, it's alleged. Both figures reaching massive audiences. Rogan's podcast, by the way, alone pulls in like $14 million per episode, 14 million viewers, rather, per episode. And then they take a film and they break it down, and then you got the snippets, and that's another 14 million. I mean, they milk this thing forever. Jesus God. It's incredible. And Candace, as I say, didn't stop there. On her own particular platforms, including a YouTube stream titled One Nation or something. One Nation Under Blackmail. She doubled down, as they said. Double down on this, framing the blackmail as a hidden force behind global power dynamics. You think that's it? You think that's it? You think blackmail is going to do it? She linked these claims to other, I don't want to call conspiracy theories, but that's kind of what people call them. And I'll use it just for shorthand. Of course, I mentioned the Brigitte Macron thing, that she was born a man. That's kind of like, you know what I'm saying? and that Israel was involved somehow with her being born as a man. I have no idea. And she also tied her narrative to Bobby Kennedy Jr. Let me just say one thing. If I were Israel, or anybody for that matter, my take would be to flip it and say, is to bludgeon you with it. Oh, and because it's Israel. And because it's Israel. And who's responsible? It's Israel. And who's responsible for the plane crash? Israel. And I would saturate it to the point where you would mock it to the point, and I wouldn't even refute it. I would just say, my God, everything wrong with the world. Okay, that's the narrative. And some people do, some people don't. Some people actually, when you become wedded or committed to a particular idea, you say this over and over again. And remember, I'm not passing any, I'm telling you right now, I don't know any of this to be true. I'm just talking about the narrative. And speaking of narratives, the Bobby Kennedy involvement is even better. He, of course, as you know, is the HHS, Health and Human Services Secretary. He's claiming that he has been entangled in an elaborate sexual blackmail scheme influenced by, you got it, Israel. See what I'm doing? Say, you got it. Though she provided, some people say, no evidence of this, but some interesting connections to this. You know? Where you said, that, and who was involved? Anthony Weiner. Okay. And what about this? Well, this is a person who's been before, and of course is a Zionist. Okay. Any proof? Well, no. Okay. Well, at least we're, kind of setting up a. Now, here's the backlash and the criticism, and this is what you got to watch. This is what's even more important, because folks like this are not going to be sitting back and taking this lightly, okay? It's just not going to be like that. The response from a lot of folks, those who are being involved with this, from her allegations and like, were quick and in some cases rather severe, particularly from conservative circles that have historically supported her. Now, remember, when you lose, look, does it matter? Probably not. Who are these conservative circles anyway? I would tell her, look, you do it. Don't bend. Don't frame your particular reportage to that and with that that's supported by the conservatives. These people, they don't know anything. They don't like this. I told you before, you will never hear anything about this on Fox News. Never, ever, under any circumstances. I mean, and I think you know this. So my thing to her was like, what are you worried about? What are you worried about conservatives? Just have some proof. I can give you some allegations. Now, as you know, her comments, pretty much what she said, were condemned as, you got it, anti-Semitic. And that's another problem. This is not anti-Semitic necessarily. I mean, it could be, but that particular trope, that particular thing has to be pulled back too. They're suggesting that she keeps repeating this, this rhetoric that led to her departure from the Daily Wire. Oh, the Daily Wire. That's even, follow Ian Carroll on that debacle. I don't even care about that. I like when they say the Daily Wire, they're looking for a private equity firm. Who the hell wants to buy it? What is it? What does it mean? Who wants to buy anyway? I guess you have something and then you wait until you. How about that Carlos? Was it Carlos Watson? Commuted the sentence? What the hell? Of that Ozzy or whatever? I don't want to get off the. But I think Trump's just like, okay, well, whatever. It's up to you. The Daily Wire, of course, as you know, founded by, or co-founded, I should say, by Ben Shapiro, as you know, a staunchly pro-Israel Orthodox Jew without any question whatsoever, severed ties with her completely after months of tension over her, what they call increasingly anti-Semitic statements and the like, including, and this is the best one, defending Kanye West, his Anti-Semitic. Now let me explain something to you. Let me just pause for 1 second. What the hell are you who is defending Kanye West for anything? If he is not crazy, he is doing one of the best imitations. Is that Sensori Bianchi, whatever her name is? Is she? Oh, yeah. Hell, you know how tough it is? You got to walk around all the time naked? I'm so cold. Well, I don't want to walk naked. Being naked is not... When you're at home, are you naked? No. Clothes are comfortable. She's got to walk around naked all the time. But it's just... And the teeth and the swastika is like, what is this? What is this? Remember when Candace was first, at first she was all into, she loved Kanye. Okay, all right, fine. And then later, one time she went to, I think she went to that Patrice Cullors, the head of BLM. She was knocking on the, hello, can I speak with you? And she was crying. Never happened at that. Then there was something with the Tate brothers. Remember, I think it was her husband was a friend. I don't know if anybody is guiding her. Listen, because people say, as long as I don't care if she has 100 million followers or subscribers. That's not the point I'm making. If you think that absolves this behavior, I'm saying she's a very talented person, but she is fueled by anger. There's this, oh my God. And once you start, ask Alex, once you become kryptonite to your friends, then it's like it's over. They go, I don't know. Listen to what I'm telling you. If you want to blame somebody, let's say, I'm tired of saying Israel, let's say France. And you've got some idea that it's France. The best thing for you to do is let somebody figure it out for themselves. And you know who was there that day? Macron. Isn't that interesting? What do you think that means? And who was responsible? I remember when they did, and they robbed the bank. Who was it? Macron. I'm giving you as an example. Isn't that interesting? Let people figure it out. Isn't that interesting? I watched her today. It's very interesting. There's one thing she says, and if you're going to come after me, I'm just a pregnant lady who's walling around. I'm going to go after you. I'm going to make... Oh, tough guy. Okay, she fancies herself as, I'm gonna tear you. Well, what are you going to do? What do you mean, what am I going to do? What are you going to do? You sure fixed that Macron lady, didn't you? Yeah, nothing happened. Anything happened? Nope. Just like the Epstein files. Nothing happened. Well, what are you going to do, Candace? I mean, you know. Well, I'm going to tell you. She says it's going to be a quick killer. She talks about that Nuzzi lady. You're going to tell me I'm a pregnant woman. We know you're pregnant. Mazel tov to you. That's wonderful. What are you going to do? Well, I'm gonna expose. Like you did what? Like you exposed what? What have you done? What have you done? Tell me the what? I'm dead serious. Because sometimes people forget, like, you know, you're right. I don't know what she did. She talks a good game. I've got the news right now. This, okay, fine. Nobody ever really does much of any. I mean, seriously, we're not. I mean, some things are released, but who was the last person who really? I'll tell you, the one you really have to watch is Laura Loomer. Why? She's there. She's a microphone. Come on. She's scaling the wall. Let's go. She's in the White House. I mean, she's in the Capitol. Change herself. I mean, she's incredible. And meanwhile, Candace, bless her heart, she's in her little her room. Very nice. And I watch it. I you know what's the first time? It's the first time I've ever watched an entire show. And she'll say, and the problem is that we've got to do this. Now, for smooth skin, so she had product placement, so it was good. So she went for that. Laura Loomer, they went after. Laura Loomer is like just. Laura Loomer was the one who she exposed. She exposes the Twitter stuff and Oh, by the way, today was the big day. Yeah. What happened? What was it called? A day of rage or Tesla takedown? Nothing happened. I don't know what the hell's called. Yeah. Laura Loomer, she has files. Here it is. There's the paperwork. I mean, that's something. With all due respect to Candace, I know, bless her heart, she just talks a lot of shit, but she doesn't do anything. And I'm gonna go after you. Okay. Oh yeah. What are you gonna do? Why, I'm gonna do a video. And Carol too. Carol goes like this. Have you noticed? Remember the kid who was eating the ramen noodles? I love this guy. And he would eat like a ramen, like a pack of ramen noodles, and he would go like this. And there would be some big graphic of something disputing something that was made. He kind of went like that. It's fantastic. Let me stop for 1 second right here. I'm being very, very rude to our dear friends. The unprofitable servant says, it would explain his bizarre insistence on claiming anti-Semitism is a public health concern. That's nuts. And I would keep a closer eye on Loomer if I wasn't afraid of being turned to stone. What are you making, a Lot's wife reference? No. Now, let me tell you something. She is, I would say, Bobby. And I told you this today. Bobby, please. Now listen, we'll get to him in a moment. Bobby. Now, you were sitting at, what's that place you went to, Upper East Side, the Italian restaurant, like the Napoli's? Tony DiNapoli. Remember when they had that meeting, and there was a Chatham House rule supposedly, and he violated it. Yeah, Tony DiNapoli, right? And they had this meeting, and Bobby was talking shit because Bobby's Bobby Kennedy. I'm Bobby Kennedy, and people love me. I'm Bobby Kennedy. He's got these little. He must have these custom-made little tiny, like a button-down Oxfords, but this little tiny collar. It's very interesting. Always one style. It's very interesting. I've never seen that particular. Johnny Agnelli wore the Brooks Brothers button-down, but I digress. So he was talking one time, I forget when it was, and he said, I believe that one day we got to get to the bottom of this because you might be able to take genetic information, which, by the way, I think his ex-running mate may have been, I don't know if she directly was involved with Google, but he said you might be able to take information or genetic information and fix it in such a way where you can, depending upon the information you have, target a particular genome or genetic profile. And let's say you're going after Sephardic Jews or Mandarin Chinese or Sub-Saharan, whatever, you might be able to do that. Okay, which makes sense. Somehow that got out. And they claimed that Bobby Kennedy was anti-Semitic, which is the most, it reeks of caca del toro. It's bullshit. So Bobby jumped on that. I would have told him, Booby, please, relax. Ignore it. Don't fall into this. But they're calling me anti-Semitic. They call everybody anti-Semitic. If it rains, it's anti-Semitic. Hey, there's been a lot of, airline crashes. You're anti-Semitic. What? Just let it go. Don't fall into this. They're by the way, let me just go on the record. Anti-Semitism and all forms of hate exist, without a doubt. Without a doubt. But hate without action is just a bad thought. Remember that. When you act upon something, that's when I kick in. But what you think and whom you despise, that's your business. So anyway, Bobby decides, I've got this anti-Semitic stuff, which is complete and utter horseshit. So what am I going to do? I'm going to call up Shmuley Botiach. I thought, you have got to be kidding me. What are you doing? It's like, it's the lightning rod's lightning rod. Why are you doing this? Now, I don't know. Candace knows. She knows everything. I don't know. And I thought, oh no. Maybe go to Oh, I don't know. If you want to get somebody, maybe a quiet rabbi, or maybe a professor at a medical school who says, "Oh no," or maybe somebody who is somebody in the world of a biomedical targeting or weaponry. Maybe somebody who says, "But no, you get Shmuley Botiak." Oh my God, is his daughter still doing what, butt plugs? Or I mean, I'm sorry to say this. I'm not making it up. You can't make this. You can't make this up. Who the hell wants that? Vibrators, okay, but is there a market for this? He talked about it and he wrote his book, Kosher Sex. Oh my God. Anyway, look, he was Michael. Okay, fine. So Bobby, didn't somebody tell him, Bobby, not Shmuley Botia, address it, but get somebody who's maybe, nope, not Bobby. So Bobby had this event at the Glass House on 11, right on West Side Highway, right there. We went there one night. And that Nuzzi, we swear, was there. I don't know. Mrs. L remembers her. She was sitting right there. That wasn't the one who was like, that one? No, there was one woman there. They looked like if Bobby had said, now, they would have run up, ripped their clothes. I'm serious. I've never seen anything like this. So Bobby, of course, has no expression. Completely zero affect. None. He's never, even when he's working out, he doesn't grunt, he doesn't grimace, he might smile. He has no personality, doesn't laugh. Remember the night of that, oh God, the Al Smith dinner? He's with, Cheryl Hines is all over him. He looked like I do at the DMV line, waiting. He's just, let's face it, he's a boring guy. Bobby Kennedy's boring. So he's up there with Shmuley Botiak, and we're walking this. It's a packed room. And Bobby said something to the effect of, when I was a kid, my father would take me and go, oh, Jesus, not my father. Bobby Kennedy was giving lecture after lecture every single night before they were, killing Marilyn Monroe. I'm no proof of that, but I wouldn't be surprised. And he was boffing everything that moved. He was having all these meetings. And I remember after dinner, my father told me. And by the way, people who make fun of Bobby's voice, is horrible. It's horrible that they do that. I'm not going to do it. But he said, son, you got to understand that Israel, the state of Israel, said, your father said that? This was a concern around Hickory Hill or whatever it was? Are you kidding me? It was 100% 18 karat bullshit. And then Shmuley starts it, and I'm thinking, what are you doing? It was painful. It was, yeah. Like he was a hostage. Exactly. I was just going to say that. It was like, no, it's true though. It was like, Bobby, who is advising you? Okay, so that looked weird. I'm thinking, why are you giving so much attention? Well, the next thing you know, Bobby says that anti-Semitism is as bad as plagues. Now, not a word about racism. Black folks would say, excuse me, any. We did have slavery here, just anything on us? No. Yours is a minor cold. Anti-Semitism is, but I couldn't believe what I'm hearing. Now, what does that tell me? Well, it tells me that I don't believe anything. It would not surprise me if he was pushed, but maybe this is what old CO is thinking about. Maybe this was, we own you now because of the whatever. Now, he was going to run for office. Here's my next question. He's head of HHS now. What do they want to blackmail him for? What? Drop that, study on, the herpes virus or what? Don't stop this. If you know what's good for you, Bobby, you're going to stop that red dye number 3 shit, You open a big mouth. We got a lot of friends of ours in the red dye #3 department, so watch it. Or as our friend Sparky talks about the nixtalated whatever. What are you blackmailing him for? The HHS secretary? I don't understand. This doesn't make any sense. I'm not saying it's not true, but it's like normally things kind of make sense. So this is just. So anyway, so Bobby is with this Nuzzi woman, remember her? And she says, I was involved in a relationship. We didn't have sex. And we didn't. I don't know if Bobby said, I didn't send anything. She kind of intimated they did. I wish somebody would say, hey, honey, show us the picture. I mean, black him out. Even old Wiener, they showed the pictures. Remember him? When he was on the bed with his son? And oh, my God. Another one that disgraced. What is that about? So let me get this straight. Here's Bobby Kennedy. This is a guy who, he's a Kennedy. These people they will boff anything that even moves. You boff a snake if you hold a head, like a 3-peckered goat. Venetian blinds, mud, anything. So he now is into this. He's now cyber. What are you wearing? Ha, ha, ha. Hello. What is this? What is this? And I wish somebody would have the balls to say, yeah, I did it. So what? Is there a crime against that? No, not only that, I got a bunch of them. I do it all the time. Yeah, I do it. And what? What, you don't do that? No, not really. Well, you should try it. Pretty good. Safe. You don't know anybody. It's a phone. I'm talking to the phone. I don't know who she is. If I was next to her and said, hey, what are you wearing? That's not against the law. But if I do it on a phone, you want to kick me out of office? Hey, do you like, does the smell of burning rubber turn you on? What's wrong with that? What about hair, burnt hair? What's your safe word? I'm on the phone. I wish somebody would just have the guts and say, this is ridiculous. So what? She's got a point there. But no, they fight. Don't make a schmooly because he's an expert on the thing with it. I don't understand any of this. Meanwhile, it's been what, 60, so far the president's been 68 days in office, and what has Bobby done? Nothing. He keeps talking about this. Well, I think we should look at this, a lot of these Pop-Tart, there you go, and you go to you get these, you get your cereal, and by God, they say, you open it up and there's nothing in there. I got a box of Puffins, which is my favorite cereal, and we open them up and there's nothing in there. I think we should get to the bottom of this and say, Bobby, you were talking about vaccines and Fauci, and now you're talking, what? What is going on here? I don't understand it. I know it's only been 68 days, but the best part about it, Trump's not saying a word. I don't care. I don't care. Oh, by the way, you notice how Signalgate is they just forgot about it. I told you. I keep saying I told you, but nobody cares about that. They should throw him out. About what? Over Signalgate. Who? Hexeth. Why? Because of the Signalgate. And Waltz. Waltz is he's still there. Nobody cares about that. None of this makes any sense. This is the most stupid stuff I've ever heard in my life. Meanwhile, you're not going to hear anything on Fox News because as far as they're concerned, everything's groovy in the Middle East. By the way, that's code word for Israel. When you say the Middle East, they mean that. So in the meantime, dear friends, as I catch my breath and consider my next particular point to make, this critical word. Are you feeling buried under credit card bills, personal loans piling up? Well, you're not alone, and you don't have to face it alone either. Millions of Americans are struggling with debt, and for many, National Debt Relief has been the trusted solution. With just one call or a few clicks, you can find out if you qualify for a proven program that could reduce what you owe and help you become debt-free faster than you ever thought possible. National Debt Relief works by negotiating directly with your creditors on your behalf. That means lower payments, less stress, and no more collection calls. They've helped over 500,000 people resolve more than $10 billion in debt, and they're ready to help you too. There's no upfront cost, No obligation and no pressure. Just real support from a team that's A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau and ranked #1 for debt relief services in America. So if you owe $10,000 or more in credit card or unsecured debt, don't wait. Go to nodebtwithlionel.com. That's nodebtwithlionel.com. Take the first step, get your life back, because you deserve peace of mind. Did you see today also this Nuzzi? Who is this woman, Nuzzi? She's accused her ex-fiance of blackmail. Remember that one? And then RFK Jr. Oh my God, you see this one? This was according to People magazine. Did you see this one? Olivia Nuzzi's former fiance, Ryan Liza. So you've got Nuzzi and Liza, Lizza. He's making more claims about her alleged year-long personal relationship with Bobby Kennedy. This is People magazine. October the 15th, okay? Did you hear this one? I just saw it right now. In September, reports surfaced that Nuzzi, a 31-year-old New York Magazine reporter, and the former presidential candidate, Bobby, 70, interesting, he could be her daddy, had been in a relationship after she re-interviewed him for a profile last November. And it sounds like that Broad Street, remember Petraeus? Anyway, Nuzzi later claimed that Liza harassed and blackmailed her before allegedly leaking her and Kennedy's alleged relationship in an attempt, she claims, to get her back. In the new documents filed then and obtained by CNN, the Daily Beast, and the Wall Street Journal, Liza denied the allegations and recalled finding out that Nuzzi had been cheating on me with married man for almost a year. But here's the line. Liza, the chief Washington correspondent for Politico, this is Liza, this is the man, the husband, fiance, claimed that Nuzzi described her relationship as toxic, unhealthy, stupid, psychotic, crazy, and indefensible, acknowledging the huge power disparity between her and Kennedy per CNN. Liza, the fiance, reportedly further claimed that Nuzzi showed catastrophically reckless behavior as Kennedy allegedly manipulated her throughout their relationship. Liza reportedly alleged in his filing, that although he assured Nuzzi he could help her get away from a disturbing relationship with her paramour, he seriously doubted that it was possible for us to have a future. But here's the line. This is the line. This is the headline. Ready for this? People magazine, October the 15th. RFK Jr. wanted to, quote, possess and impregnate journalist Olivia Nuzzi, her ex reportedly alleges in court filing. Now, let me just tell you something right now. I personally do not think, honestly, that this is anybody's business. However, I think somebody needs to bring Bobby in and say, Booby, have a seat. You know, you're kind of worrying me. I don't know if this is true or not, but and this has got to be tough. This is where President Trump, I love the man. You know I love the man. Do you know I love the man? You know I love the man. There's no doubt about that. I admit it. I love the man. But he does some judgment stuff sometimes where I'm thinking, ooh, because I get that Susie Wiles in here. That's what I think happened to Alina Habba. I'm going to what? Newark. No. I'm the president's second. Interim, what? U.S. attorney in Newark? Shit. Let me talk to the president. You're going to Newark. I'm going to Newark. Why? Because they knew. I don't know. I'm guessing. But some of these people, remember Matt Gaetz? Remember what I told you about Matt Gaetz? I said, do you not understand it? No, Matt Gaetz is great. Matt Gaetz, the only one to say, I'm out of here. How bad was he? And I'm thinking, Mr. President, do you not know? We're not even talking. The kid, the adopted. Anyway, that's that. But Bobby, now listen to this. How many heroin addicts out there? Any drug addicts? I'm just kidding. You don't have to say anything. Do you know what it's like to be a heroin addict? Do you know what that's like? And God bless anybody who can get off of that. I mean it. I mean it. It's anything, whether it's booze or whether it's, M&Ms, anything you're addicted to, it's tough. But heroin is a different story. And heroin can go and it rewires your mind, rewires your brain, and changes dopamine receptor sites and does a whole bunch of stuff. The scary part is that if you ever find yourself kind of slipping and you need help, which is, let's face it, they say the average number of relapses are significant. But if you ever need help, what are you going to do? You can't go to a group. You can't show up and say, who are you? I'm Bobby. My name is Bobby. I'm not going to do the voice. I'm a recovery. No, you can't do that. Are you okay, Bobby? Yes. Can we talk about and let me tell you something. If any country were to try to compromise him, I promise you, they have every psychiatrist, psychologist, social expert doing dossiers on what makes them tick. Did you see my interview with John Kiriakou? Did you see it? It was absolutely fascinating. And he was talking about how you win people, what you're after. There was a book called Gideon's Sword. It was about Mossad. I loved it. It was an interesting book. And there was a dossier, and supposedly Bibi's wife wanted to see it because she wanted to see what they had to say about Hillary Clinton. But you go after these people and they say, let me tell you the story about each person. And they've studied them left and right. Bobby Kennedy. Let me ask you something. Imagine that you and I are working on, we're going to send in a honeypot, right? Because he obviously, anybody who claims to have written down or kept track of women, think about this, in a book, kind of like Yelp, or something. I'd be 4 stars, a lot of talent. I'm putting you in the book. Forget Epstein's book. Anybody who does that, who serializes conquest, living up to the Kennedy, anybody who's had to see their uncle, but their father, this just, and the problems and the depravity in their own brothers, and oh my God. What do you think some of the things are? If you were a woman, all right, vixens, what would be the target? What would it be? What would it be that you would go through? You knew, first of all, I'm going to let's say I'm the head of a country or it doesn't matter, a group of people, and I'm in charge of special ops. Who gets close to them? Reporters, that kind of thing. I'm going to go back and see, can we get a look for his past? Anything? Does he have any propensities, predispositions? If it were Robert De Niro, black women. I'm sorry. I'm not saying anything wrong. You know what I mean? You can't miss this. That's okay. Everybody has something maybe that somebody figures out. You're going to take somebody. Okay. You're going to talk to them. I need somebody from a kind of a prestigious. I don't want, some little dinky, he's a Kennedy. I need somebody big, like Politico or whatever, or Daily Wire, something, and some name, Politico or Mother Jones, something. I don't even know who. Who do we have? We got this one here. Ooh, she's good. Does she know how it works? She knows how it works. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, if I told you, do you know how many women out there who have been in the news biz who plied their wares? Do you understand this? Who have used this? Shall I go back to, dare I say, Barbara Walters? Remember Barbara Walters? Remember the, what was his name? Was it Brooke? Barbara Walters. Where was it? Was it Brooke? Black senator? Oh, yeah, had an affair with Senator Edward Brooke. Yep, in the 1970s. Yep, remember that one? Mm-hmm. Do you think this is some, in the world of getting around and getting your report? I mean, I'm sure Mary Richards had her days. Are you kidding me? Do you think that this is anything? No. And do you think that somebody would say, Bobby, yeah, listen, I want you to meet somebody. Yes, Mr. President, who is it? This is from our security detail. He's going to give you a little lecture about what to look for. Bobby needs a minder. Bobby said, who are you talking to? Who is that? Let me see your phone. Bobby, they're sexting you. Do you see what's happening here? Do you know how sick that is? If this is true, he said it didn't happen. She said it did. He said, I don't know what he did. Nobody really proved anything. It's interesting. That tells me that whatever they had either didn't happen or they're holding back. Whatever. He's the head of the HHS. Bobby, tell him. When Trump was accused of that Dusty Saddles, that hooker, he says that, I don't know, it's no big deal. Bobby, this isn't going to disqualify you. Just dismiss it. Whatever. Do something. But this is, do you think this is going to go away? What do you think his wife's thinking? Now, I don't know what happened. We don't know. Unlike Candace, I don't have specific intel. Nobody tells me. But we're going to ask the question, why are you doing this? Why does this happen? And do you need to have a minder? Do you need somebody to kind of keep an eye? They do have those in Hollywood in particular. If you're going to be a part of a movie and you're a drug addict or you've had problems and the insurance carrier is, the bonding company is going to insure your appearance, you will have minders. Oh, yeah. They keep an eye on you. Ex-addicts who keep an eye on you know every little trick in the book. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? I was very scared. I thought Pete Hegseth, when somebody said the other day, I wonder if Pete was drinking. I thought, oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no, 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 no. So anyway, this is going to go away. The whole thing is going to go away. But you got to ask this question. What's going to happen ultimately to the state of conservative talk and to Candace and to other people? I think it's going to go over. It's going to go away. It's going to go the way with Macron. But it's fascinating to me. And here is the thing. I wish somebody would say, we have pictures of you. Yep. Do you remember when David Letterman, when David Letterman, they tried to extort him? And he said, yeah, he went to the police and it was the boyfriend or ex-boyfriend of somebody he worked with or something. And he came out. It was one of the weirdest episodes. He goes, funny thing happened. And he tells you what happened. He said, yeah, that's it. That was the end of that. What do you think is going to happen if there's, I'm serious, if there's, unless it's, murder or something, or God forbid something even worse, with underage. I don't think that's it. But if somebody says, I'm going to go to the press and do what? And tell the people, I'm Bobby Kennedy. I'm a Kennedy. Let me ask you, what do you think is going to happen? I don't know. What would have happened? What? Well, we had a relationship. We had a relationship on the phone. Tell them. Better yet, I'll do it. Hello, everybody. Yeah, hi. Listen, this is me, Bobby Kennedy. Yeah. Want to tell you something. You're going to hear from me first. See this woman here? Nuzzi should be nutso. I should have seen that one coming. We had a thing where I was on the phone and I'm talking a lot of smack and crap And you're going to hear about this because Bobby's been a bad boy like I and my entire family has been our entire lives. You knew that going in here. But I'll do a damn good job keeping you safe from red dye number 3 or whatever it was. Any questions? No. Okay. Have a good day. Now release your information. What difference does it make? What difference does it make? Who cares about this? Aside from, murder or somebody underage or some, God forbid, what? There is no blackmail. There is none. There is none. What do you think they're going to get out of? This is the part which is, and it's been said, the days of the honeypot are over. Epstein's the last one you're ever going to see. Who is it? Whitney Webb, whatever, even said this stuff, had some very good points. Other people have said this. It's not new. This is over with. So I don't even understand that. Who handles his damage control? So the issue, was, I think, was what's going to happen to our good friend Candace? Nothing. What's going to happen to Bobby Kennedy? Nothing. Will we get to the bottom of this stuff? No. Nobody will say anything about this. Nothing will ever happen. It's just another story. And the best thing is what Trump did. He says, I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to talk about it. Not at all. But it's a fascinating thing. And watch what happens. By the way, last point. Watch what the conservatives do to Candace. Watch how, because why? Because they want to knock her off the throne so that somebody else can pick up her numbers and fill that vacuum. Because remember, these are very, very jealous people. And when you put all these folks together, I bet David's wondering, I may get into this and Pool and all these other people. But remember, if you can bring down Candace, that does free up a lot of folks who kind of like that. You think I'm kidding? I'll say it even more clear. Candace's threats are not going to be from any government, but from her fellow conservative folks. These are cutthroat bastards, all of them. They're all absolutely trying to out-conservative the other. They maintain this veneer. Who's more patriotic? Who loves Trump the most? Who can kiss the most ass at CPAC? That's what they do. Democrats don't do anything. They have no allegiance, no belief system, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Okay, my friends? You got that? All right. Just saying, as they say. Well, tonight, the winner of our soul philanthropy, our soul benefactor is, of course, the unprofitable servant. Thank you so much for your perspicacity, your sagacity, your beneficence, your philanthropy, your kindness, and your focused appreciation. I appreciate that immensely. Did you catch Mrs. L at 5? Unbelievable. Next time we're going to put the pictures up, you've got to see what she sees and what is going on. It is unbelievable. Here he is, my friend. Sparky said, had a girl Friday who was my minder of sorts. She'd make, I thought you said, I had a girl Friday. It's like, what do you mean, yesterday? Anyway, I had a girl Friday who was my minder of sorts. She'd make sure I didn't wander in front of a streetcar when my mind was in the clouds solving engineering issues. She was kind of like Rosalind Russell. You know, there's something to be said for that. There's something to be said for that. It's pretty heady, Sparky. I think going into that Kennedy thing, it's got to be tough. Okay? You know who's really interesting? Jack Schlossberg. Where's he been? I keep an eye on him. He looked like he went off the reservation. And I don't wish any kind of mental illness on anybody else. But you know what? I really... Stop right there. I know you don't care about this. But Mrs. L and I were talking about this. Will Diddy ever get out of prison? Remember him? Oh, yeah, Diddy. Will Diddy ever get out of prison? What is that about? I know it has nothing to do with Bobby Kennedy, nothing to do with whatever. But just excuse me. Anything? What did he do? Did you see where his lawyer had to? No. The lawyer, Busby, he was suing, representing a lot of plaintiffs against him. He did not file pro hoc vice. Ladies and gentlemen, Marco says, who cares? I like that. That's good. I'm going to put Marco in my press pool. Who cares? Thank you, Marco. Appreciate it. I don't care. Thank you so much. Who cares? Tonight on Marco News, here's something about Diddy. I don't care about that. And this one of Madonna. I don't watch Madonna. Yogi Fish says, always great hearing your perspectives. Thank you. Yogi, thank you, my friend. You've been with us. You've had that same thumbnail forever. You know that? Yogi cares. He cares about this. Today, by the way, was one of the most beautiful days in New York. How big was that Columbus Circle? Mrs. L and I today saw people right at Columbus Circle, Central Park. It was like a concert let out. It was like there were so many people, so much joy, happiness. The Trump store filled. And today's Tesla's Day of Rage, gone. Day of whatever it's called.
But they were like holding cardboard signs. And they go, dozens protesting.
Yeah, dozens protest.
It's 6 people.
Did they ever get any of the...
Some Doge supporters showed up at locations with American flags.
Oh. Okay, the Doge supporters came. That's nice. That's good. But it's like the whole, and they always have these people going up to Teslas, and Teslas have cameras, and they're saying, "All right, internet, do your thing." Did we find any of these people? They're not getting arrested at all. Let me ask you a question. What if the true story? What if Elon says we have a new device? If you take any kind of device and you try to scratch anything, a swastika or any kind of design, there is a machine gun turret that pops out and will shoot you. Okay? All it says was, do not scratch these cars, or it releases poison gas and will kill you on the spot. Question is, what does the law say about you booby trapping, not booby trapping, a car which doesn't hurt anybody unless you try to break into it? Go ahead. Does Marco care? Does Marco care? Marco is so good. Marco says, does the opinion of any one individual even matter? Marco would be great, kind of like revving the troops up for battle. The opinion of one man is irrelevant. Doesn't matter what we do. 100 years from now, nobody will give a shit. Thank you, Marco. Marco would be a great football coach. Remember, it's only a game. Don't get hurt. Nobody cares. This is football. Does anybody care? No. Especially the marching bands. Those poor people, they come on and people go to the John to get food. It's a waste of time. That's the riveting kind of action. I love that. That's Marco for us. So the question is, what happens if you do this? What happens if you booby trap a car? Hillbilly says booby traps are illegal. Okay, why are they illegal? I'll tell you why. There was a thing years ago called the spring gun cases. And everybody who takes torts class will remember the spring gun cases. And the spring gun cases were these devices that you have it on a door, and if you jiggle the knob or whatever, it pulls this lever, and this shotgun blows you up. It is the most incredible case in the world. It's the most fascinating case. Spring gun cases. And in law, there's these, in law school, you always learn, Prosser on torts. You'll learn, of course, the Paul's graph case, foreseeability and the fireworks. But spring guns, these are my favorites. I never heard of them. These are devices that you have at your home, and you rig them to discharge firearms when triggered by an intruder. If you don't go to the house, it's not going to go on. And this has been at the center of legal debates for years regarding property defense. Well, what do you call it? What do you call a dog? What do you call an attack dog? What the hell is that? You go in the backyard, he attacks you, he mauls you. What's the difference between that and a spring gun? So people have been talking about this. Well, the case is, and by the way, you can always look it up, Catco against Briney. This is one of these ones, 1971 case. And in that case, it sounds like I'm doing a recitation, Your Honor. In that case, Edward Briney, this is the one, set up a spring-loaded shotgun in an abandoned farmhouse to deter trespassers. Now, unless you have a sign, it doesn't do you any good. So Marvin Catco entered the property and was seriously injured, as you can imagine, by the device. Now, what the hell was he doing there? Nobody seems to care. So the Iowa Supreme Court ruled in favor of the plaintiff, emphasizing, and this is what everybody remember, property owners cannot use deadly force to protect unoccupied property. And the real issue is you can't do away from your home what you can't do when you're home. What does that mean? It means that if you're at home and you're just sitting there, you set up a chair, you got your chaise longue, not lounge, long. All right, you got your long chair and you're sitting there, chaise, and you're just waiting. And you got your beer and it's quiet, you got the lights off, and you hear footsteps. And you go, I think somebody's here. And then you hear somebody on the porch. And you go, quiet, Timmy. That's your dog's name. And you go right, and you pull back a little one of the shotgun hammers. And when you see the knob jiggle, you shoot right through him. And he's an intruder. You can't do that. You can't do that when you're there. Therefore, you can't do it when somebody's not there. Oh, and then you get a whole, what about the issue of care? What about trespassers? Do you owe trespassers a duty of care? What if there's a hole? You've got this huge hole. And at night, if anybody goes in your property and they don't see it, they'll fall. Or maybe you've got boards over it, people fall through it. Somebody come up, an intruder trespasses. What about that? Have you heard about attractive nuisance? That's the worst. This is where children, it's called the turntable doctrine, where you are almost presumed a libel, where if you have something that is known to attract children, or the turntable used to be the device that they used on railroads to reconfigure the trains. Kids would lose their fingers, and they knew it attracted them. They loved this. It's called the attractive nuisance. Anyway, there's all these. Every conceivable thing that you have thought about, or you could think about, is in law. Very quickly, one of the most fascinating is personal property. Not real property, personal property. You go into a public restroom, go to the men's room, and on the sink, there's a ring. Like a diamond ring or a ring. What is it? Is it lost? Is it misplaced? Does it make a difference? You're walking on the street and there's a ring on the ground. What about that? Was that abandoned? Was it lost? What's the difference? What if there's soap on the ring, meaning somebody took off the ring to wash their hands? What if, and there's all these things about abandoned property, found property, misplaced property, a treasure trove. You buy a house. You're gutting a room. You pull back a panel, and there's thousands of dollars. It's a treasure trove. Is that yours? Is that yours? Is that a fixture? Did it come with a house? It's the most fascinating, seemingly unending list of situations. Last story, and then I'll let you go. One time on WABC, years ago. By the way, I'm going to be with Anthony Cumia tomorrow. during his big show on WABC. There was a case of similar to what I was saying. They were reconstructing or fixing a house or doing something. They pulled back a wall, and there's a perfectly formed skeleton in there. Perfectly formed. Just there. I mean, perfect. And it wasn't somebody who collected, like laboratory skeletons. It was somebody who would. And I was on the phone, or I was on the air, and I said, there's a joke here. And I don't know what it is. But there's a joke. They found a perfectly formed skeleton. It's got to be a joke. It's got to be a joke. I don't know what it is. So I forgot about it. Towards the end of the show, there was this one little ringing, line. Board op says, take line 3. The guy says, yeah, you were talk about that skeleton you found. Yeah, well, I couldn't call before, but I can now. I think I know who that is. I said, who is it? He goes, it's the winner of the Polish hide-and-go-seek contest. Oh, my God. I thought that was one of the best. But, of course, somebody's going to get upset because, the Polish is, anyway. Thank you, my friends. Have a great and glorious day. You were magnificent tonight. Your alacrity, your celerity, your degree of cerebration. We were on the same channels tonight. We will never hear anything more about our friend. Candace Owens. I forgot. George Geen says, didn't DJT investigate his cabinet or bro culture? No, I don't think so. Now, tomorrow, listen to this little heads up. I found a story that was so interesting to me. Jim Norton. You know who Jim Norton is? He's a comedian, I guess. Well, yeah. He's a big friend of Anthony Cumia. Did you know what Jim Norton did? Yeah.
I knew I forgot what you reminded me.
He married a transgender woman half his age. Does it matter how old she is? Okay, we're going to talk about that tomorrow. I'm fascinated by the issues. Number one, be thinking about this for tomorrow. Did he do it just because he realized the Sirius XM thing with that Sam guy is over with? He figures, I got to do something quick. He's on every show there is. Everything. His wife's name is Nikki. She's from the Netherlands. He said, I encouraged her not to get the surgery. Well, what does that mean? Well, you know what I mean. No. You mean she hasn't had the surgery? No. You mean she's intact? Yes. And this doesn't bother you? Or no, not at all. I'm okay with it. You're okay with it. Oh. It's a, yeah. No, well, I don't know how much she came. It might have been puberty. I don't know if she had puberty block. I don't know. Okay. So if somebody says, okay, so the question is he gay? No, he's not gay. Why? Because he fell in love with a transgender woman. I said, okay, let me ask you a question. Let's say somebody says, I want to have a relationship. Well, I want to, with a man. But I don't want to, I'm feeling weird about this. Wait a minute. I'm going to apply the Norton rule. Hey, do me a favor. Put this wig on. You're a transgender woman. What? No, I'm not. Yes, you are. Oh, okay. Now it's okay. And I'm wondering if it's none of anybody's business and they seem to be happy, but I'm curious, does it matter? If you're in love with someone and something they had some kind of a, I don't know, a tragedy or something that might have affected them, would you not love them? Of course not. So not being intact, I mean, let's face it, sometimes people are paralyzed by virtue. Does that matter? Yeah, but it's a woman. Well, what difference does, I mean, the stories of this are fascinating. So he's going around saying, I don't know what the big deal is. Now I'm thinking to myself, And I've listened to them, and it's incredibly compelling. She is about 6'3". It seems like he's like 3 feet tall. She's over twice his age, and they've been on every show in the world. Sparky says, by the way, Waltz's chief of staff got him to add Goldberg to the signal meeting. He's known to have Trump derangement syndrome. Waltz took the fall for him. Could be. And with that, Sparky, you're the last one who's ever brought that story up. So we're going to be talking about that tomorrow. The stories behind, he was on Dr. Drew and this and that. And they're thinking maybe the reason for this is because, this serious thing is falling apart. Nobody's paying attention. Johnny Mass says, hide and seek. I'm still laughing. Oh, isn't that great? It's great. Oh, I got to tell you a better one too. There was a story years ago. Speaking of which, this will kill you. There was this poor man. His name was Michael Hebranko, and in 2013 he passed away. He suffered from an extreme case of morbid obesity, and he weighed, I believe, he was in Brooklyn. I think he weighed 900 or 1,000 pounds. Oh, no. In June 1990, he was at his peak weight of 1,100 pounds. 1,100 pounds. He had massive waist loss. He dropped to 207 pounds. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine the skin? In any event, he weighed 1,100 pounds. So, one morning, I was on the air, WABC, and my dear friend, the great Dick, hang on a minute. Let me get this straight. I think it was a year. What was this? I'm going to get the right year. Do you remember there was this? Yeah, Dick Oliver died in 2016. Oh, he was the best. Dick Oliver was just the best. I can tell you stories about him. Watch him and Jim Ryan getting into an argument online. So Dick Oliver was there. Somebody sent him out to this place, this house. Listen to my story. Mr. Hebranko, if I recall correctly, tragic case, was so large. I mean, Liz Straub, hang on, says, Lionel, I was born in the Lower East Side in 1962. I get you. Thank you, my friend. Keep up the great work. I get you. Yes, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Liz, and I had a coach, Paul Straub, in high school. Did you know this? His name was Paul Straub, Jesuit High School, Tampa. He had two amputations. He lost both legs. He was a Marine. I think it was a training, but he lost both legs. And he had prosthetic legs. 2. And he one time had these kids, the story goes, everybody heard about this, but when he first came on board, he sat on his desk. He says, kids, he talked like this, you peckerheads. Everybody was a pecker. He was a Marine. He was shot here, shot or something. He had these like pads of skin, and his fingers were in this. You think I'm kidding. I know you think I'm kidding. His fingers were like this. And when he would talk to you, he would do this. I'm sorry, it's true. So these kids that were freshmen, he said, kids, you got to be tough. And he reaches in his desk, he pulls out a dart and throws it into his leg. And the dart, they didn't know. You can't do that trick anymore. But that was his name, Paul Straub. Bless his heart. Double amputee. Good name. Okay, so Dick Oliver, back to this. So Michael Hebranko, listen to this. They had to remove the front of his house to get him out, to take him to the hospital. He weighed 1,100 pounds. He couldn't move. He couldn't go through doors. And I'm thinking, could he go to the bathroom? No. Oh my God. We're on the air. We're trying to show compassion. But I said, not for nothing over here, but 1,100 pounds. Jesus God. It just, I think if I were to, I hit about 500, 600, I'm saying, hey, I can't get to this door. I better go outside. I'm not going to lose any weight, but I got to get out of here because I'm not being 800 pounds, 900 pounds. I thought, so they had to take the front of his parents' house off. The front, like the front. I don't know how I know the front came off. Dick Oliver is reading the instructions from the fire department. They had the fire department winch to pick him up, to put him in. Dick is reading this, and we are laughing so hard, I'm surprised we weren't arrested. He couldn't get the words out. Said, proceed. And the more he laughed, the more I was serious. Now, Dick, are you saying that this was a winch? He's laughing. And the maximum capacity? Is this used in industrial type? Yes, it is. So the winch or the crane, was it a crane, Dick? Yes. So Mr. Hebranka was put in the crane. They picked him up and put him in the thing and took him off. So we're laughing and people were, not laughing. No, we're not trying not to laugh. So I asked the question, what would be, listen to this, you're going to love this. What would be jobs he shouldn't have and jobs he should have? Okay, you got it? Okay. Jobs he shouldn't have. This was easy. One guy said, any circus act with the name The Flying Arrow. I thought was terrific. Roofer, trapeze, different things like that. Okay. What job should he have? One guy said wrecking ball. I thought, oh my God, that's not, that's not even clever. Kind of funny, but so we waited. Again, always at the end of the show, lights flashing. Yes, go line 3. Yes, Lionel, I was listening to you. You're talking about this poor man. My heart goes out to him and his family. I said, oh God, here we go. Here comes the complaint. Here you go. You heartless bastard making fun of this poor kid. But I've got one job I think he'd be exceptionally good at. Hockey goalie. He said, think about it. You have a board. You don't have to maybe skates or some kind of contraption where you're just going to slide him out. You just shove him out there and his girth will be bigger than the actual rink and no puck could get past him. I said, that is brilliant. I, of course, was theoretically chastised, chewed out for that with the program director laughing. But it was one of those things, much like the hide and go seek champion, that makes me laugh. All right, my friends, you have a wonderful day. Please follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors. Please. We have a sign. That's all I'm going to say. She was great today, 5 o'clock. Live at 5. It was terrific. Don't forget to follow our other channel. Subscribe to Lionel Legal. And make sure you are subscribed here to Lionel Nation. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great and a glorious night. Don't ever change. I mean that sincerely. And until tomorrow, remember these words. The monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you. Ta-ta.